Paul C.H.E.K, and welcome to my next little mini-series. This one's titled The I, We, All of Relationships. And boy, relationships are absolutely essential for our own growth and development, and they're very essential for a little thing called love. And yet many of you will have already had plenty of experience with the challenges that relationships can bring. Oh boy. So what I thought I would like to do for this little mini-series is share some of my knowledge about the essentials of relationship building. I'll begin today by covering the basic overview, and I will go into the I of the I, we, all. Then I will go into the we. I will teach a concept I developed called a we tree for relationship building. And I will finish the series talking about the all of relationships. So let's get started. As you can see, I have drawn the eye of the world. And the eye of the world represents all people in the world, the people that you're in a one-on-one relationship, such as if you're talking to your mother, your brother, or a co-worker. So if it's you and another person, that's we. As soon as you go to 3 people, you and 2 others, you're at the all level of relationship responsibility. It's important to understand these things right off the bat, because if we do not have a healthy I relationship with ourselves, we can't bring any more than that into a we. And if you're a teacher, if you make mistakes at the I level, you will imprint them not only at the we level, but to the all level. So each time we move up in the magnitude of the relationship structure from I to we to all, we also move up in our spiritual responsibility to be authentic, to be honest, and to be clear. Because if we only lie to ourselves or abuse ourselves or manipulate ourselves, we've done minimal damage to the world, so to speak. If we carry that into we relationships, we can create stress in 2 people's lives, and that radiates out into their circles. But if we stand in front of the world and mislead people, we are creating an imbalance that ripples through the whole world and can lead to all sorts of challenges in life and relationships, not only with self and other, but in things like international politics and all the stuff we know that the United States and many other countries don't do so well at, which I believe stems right from here. So let's begin at the I level. First of all, we are all born as an infant who comes into the world fairly, shall we say, as a clean slate. No ideas in our heads, no political agendas, etc., etc. We depend completely on our caretakers, which is usually our mother, our father, and our immediate family, to teach us the things that we all need to learn to be a healthy individual and to have a healthy relationship with ourselves, first and foremost, and others. The things that we have to learn in the first 21 years of our life. Rudolf Steiner, Joseph Chilton Pearce, and a variety of other experts on human growth and development have indicated that it takes about 21 years for the human ego to complete itself. The word ego and I are synonymous terms. When you use the term I or ego, it means a conscious entity or being with a clear sense of self-definition, border, or barrier. So I, Paul C.H.E.K, can differentiate myself from any other. So there's the sense of self, sentience. Then I have a border, a barrier, and self-definition. If I was just a cloud of gas, you may not know what direction to turn to speak to me, and you couldn't really differentiate me from the rest of the cloud of gas, which could be other entities. So first you have to have self-sentience, and you have to have a sense of border, barrier, or self-definition. That's what an I is. For an I to survive at the we and all level, it must learn in the first 21 years of its life how to create safety and security for itself. What does it mean to be safe in the environment that you're born in? What does it mean to be safe when you're using hand tools, when you're helping your dad in the garage? All the things that relate to safety have to be learned at this beginning level of our life, and this equates to what I refer to as sex and violence loving in my love model. We're all born by an act of sex, and learning how to manage ourselves is often a series of what Carl Jung refers to as the necessary collisions of spiritual development. So we all bang into things. Dogs, we find out bite, we find out what hot things are, what sharp things are, etc., etc. So we must learn what it means to create safety for ourselves, or we're still a child at no matter what level we're at. We must learn about the rhythm and the flow of the day, of the season. Remember, we grew up in nature. We had to know when to plant. We had to know when to harvest. We had to know how fast to go about things so we didn't burn ourselves out, etc. So one of the key things we have to learn at the I level to be a healthy person with ourselves and in relationships is what is a natural rhythm for us to unfold our day. And as you've probably heard me talk about in previous discussions, that rhythm has a lot to do with the rising and the falling of the sun, optimal meal times, optimal exercise times, and the critical things that we all have to take care of feeding ourselves and loving ourselves, or the world will eat you up, baby. And then sustenance. We all have to learn how to feed ourselves, and at the level of sustenance, we also have to learn what is our contribution to the family or the tribe or to society. So in the first 21 years of your life, we must learn how to create safety and security for ourselves. We must learn what the rhythm and flow of our family or our tribe or our society or our culture is, so we can learn how we're going to fit in. At that level, we must also learn what's referred to as sex identity and sexuality. We need to know what it means to be a male in society. What does it mean to be a female? What's expected of us as a male or a female? And we also have to confront our own ability to embrace. There are men that don't want to be men, and there's women that don't want to be women. It can cause tremendous pain for them. So sometimes we can go through a spiritual crisis of self-identity at this stage of our development, which is part of our spiritual growth and development. So here you see I've written I, safety, rhythm, sustenance, 100%. That means that we must be 100% congruent with ourselves. We must be fully present in ourselves when we're with ourselves, or we are essentially unable to carry that presence into another relationship. So the I, in order to be healthy in a we relationship, must be 100% present in order to be the 50% that it is of all we relationships. So if I am having a relationship with a client and I'm coaching the client, and I'm worried about whether or not I paid my bills or any of these other kinds of things that often get in the way, to the degree that I'm not 100% with that client, my 50% is reduced. So if I'm 90% there, I'm going to reduce myself by 10% because it takes 100% to have 50. Now here's where it gets interesting. If I am less than 50% there, we'll call it 40%, it actually creates a 20% deficit because that person cannot get to know me or be more present with me than I can be with myself. So if I'm missing 10% here, there's a 10% gap on the other side as well. So what I'm showing you is that even a small deficit in your ability to be present with yourself, which is largely due to inability to create safety, an inability to find an ideal rhythm for self-expression, and an inability to be clear about what your contribution is and how to sustain yourself in life. These are the things that we got to learn and master to be 100% confident that we can be in a relationship and be 50% of every relationship that we have. So in order to really master these things, there's a few key essential basics that we all need, and it relates to what I call core values. Now, I speak about core values in a variety of different places. One place is My Last 4 Doctors You'll Ever Need multimedia ebook, which is quite basic, but if you want a simple approach, that's it. If you want to go a little deeper, the 1, 2, 3, 4 for overcoming addiction, obesity, and disease. And if you want to go whole hog and get right into it, PPS Success Mastery Lesson 1, Lesson 2, and Lesson 3 are a package that if you progress through, you'll get a very comprehensive training. So in order for us to get ready for our next topic, the next section of this program where we discuss we relationships and we tree concepts, it's important that we must always get clear what happiness is. Arnold Patton says beautifully, you must conceive of life in ideal terms before you can live it that way. Dr. Happiness is the chief of what is or what are the ideal terms that you desire and are willing to create for your own life. We must get clear on how much rest we need, how much introspective time we need, how much private study time we need, what kind of a spiritual practice do we need to have and are willing to maintain, and what is it going to take for us to do that. We must get clear on how much movement we need to keep ourselves healthy and live our dream. We also must have a clear understanding of what our individual dietary needs are. These things are the basis of almost every relationship. We eat together. We move together. We should be able to rest together, and we also tend to gravitate towards people that have similar views and values around happy making together. So once you have a clear definition of what you need in order to fully and honestly embrace the process and the experience of living your dream and managing Dr. Happiness within yourself, then we have the raw materials to go into a conversation in a we relationship. So prior to our next program, if you're having any challenges in we relationships, see if you can work on those values with your partner, whoever you're having a relationship challenge with, and first get those values clear established in your own life. Then in the next program, next section of this program, I'll take you into a process called a we tree, and we'll show you how to break down your values, their values, and come to a healthy compromise, if possible, so that you can have more enjoyable relationships. Yeah, baby. So I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great time and get on your values, eh? See you soon.